In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a zipper box makeup pouch. Of course, this isn't going to be just any zipper box makeup pouch. I'm going to show you how to make a zipper box makeup pouch out of a shelf liner. Not just any shelf liner, an absolutely gorgeous, and I mean gorgeous, shelf liner. If that sounds like something you'd like to learn how to do, well, stick around. Hi friends, Tracy here from the Sewing Channel. Welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. Have you ever been inspired by shelf paper? Well, I found myself very inspired by this absolutely gorgeous shelf paper. Now, if you want to go ahead and leave in the comments how many times I say the word gorgeous in this tutorial, go right ahead. When I saw this shelf liner, I looked at it and I was like, what can I do with that? I decided to laminate the spongy side because the smooth side or the pretty side is very cleanable and very durable. Now I did do a test run and tried to sew one without laminating it. It does not work, so it's been tested. All product links I used in today's video are down in the description box below this video. In this video today, I don't show you how to make this little cutie pie right here. I do have a video on this tiny mini box pouch already. If you want to come back and watch this tutorial, you're more than welcome. The link is right here, click above. I will also link this at the end of this tutorial. Oh, the possibilities. Enough talking already. Let's get busy. The iron-on vinyl that I used today was made by Pellon, but there are other brands like Heat Bond, as you can see right here. They both do the exact same thing. In today's tutorial, I used the glossy finish, but there is also a matte finish available. For the non-adhesive shelf liner, I used Pioneer Woman's Sweet Rose. It is gorgeous. With the shelf liner, you do need to keep in mind that you have to have those little rubberized bottoms on it. I purchased mine at Walmart, but you can also get it online. And the Pioneer Woman also has these other gorgeous prints to choose from. Just make sure that there's a smooth surface on one side and the rubber on the other side. You can use other brands. You don't have to stick with this one. For the shelf liner, you're going to cut out approximately 10 inches by 14 inches. Now we're only covering just the rubberized side. We don't have to cover the pretty side because it's already wipeable and ready to go. So the first thing I want you to do is get your lint roller and clean off all the lint because we don't want to laminate lint within our project. Now I did cut my laminate piece just a little bit bigger than the 10 inches by 14 inches, not much bigger, just for a margin of error I wanted to do that. I'm going to peel it back from that piece of paper that it comes on, and then I'm going to place it on the rubbery side of my shelf liner, and then once I get it on, I'm going to smooth it out with my hands. Now I'm going to just take my scissors and just trim off any of that sticky stuff because I don't want that to stick to my ironing board. Now you're going to just follow the directions on either the Heat Bond or the Pellon like that I used here, and it says to take the shiny side of that piece of paper and lay it down right on top of that vinyl and iron it with a medium hot iron. And you only leave it on for about 4 to 8 seconds. And here I'm going to go more with the 4 seconds, lifting up as you go. And for this project, I only needed to swipe it like once or twice through. If your iron tends to be really on the hot side, go ahead and just put it on low to begin with. It will stick, trust me. This is what it looks like after it's been ironed on. It's nice and shiny and cleanable. Here I'm just showing you what it looks like with and without the laminate on the rubber. Here I'm taking the time to laminate a small piece for the handle. Now you can leave this out if you'd like, but it is really cute, so I don't recommend leaving it out. So go ahead and just follow the same steps just like you did for the base of the bag. That smaller piece measures 6 inches by 4 inches. For reference, my zipper that I use today is approximately 18 inches in length. Here I'm using some double-sided tape where I would like my zipper to go. And honestly, I would never do a zipper project without it. It just makes my life easier. Nothing will shift. So here you're going to take your zipper with the toggle facing down, just like you see me do here. You're going to place that zipper tape right along the edge there and press it into place. And this way, with the double-sided tape, it will not shift at all when we go to sew. Now you're going to sew a straight stitch all the way down 1/4 inch. I want you to notice my foot that I'm using. It is a Teflon foot. It is perfect and made especially for vinyl projects just like this one. After you've sewn the 1/4 inch, go ahead and take it out of the sewing machine, and then you're going to fold that zipper tape back. And we are going to make a spot to put a top stitch right next to that zipper tape. Now sew about 1/8 or 1/4 inch all the way down, doing a top stitch. I wanted to let you know that my needle that I'm using today actually is just a universal needle. It's nothing special. Your top stitching should look something just like this. Here's a look at the back. Now we are going to take and lift the other side with right sides together up to that zipper tape. Here I'm just going to flip it over so I can see the edge of that pretty side peeking out just a little bit. It keeps things straight for me. So here I'm just doing the double-sided tape like we did on the other side, and then I'm going to tear up the paper, and then I'm going to just press into place the other side of the zipper tape here. Now, what I'm making sure though here also is on the sides, I want to make sure that everything is even. I just don't want to press that in place crooked. And now we're going to sew about 1/4 inch right down that zipper tape, just like we did in the last step. You should end up with something that looks just like this. And now we are going to go ahead and unzip it and flip that over, and we're going to flip that zipper tape toward the back again, and we're going to give it a nice top stitch about 1/8 to 1/4 inch in. Now this step right here is one of the reasons why I love using a zipper that is way longer than my project, because to do a top stitch on a short zipper, it's kind of hard when everything is stuck together. As you can see, this gorgeous bag is finally taking shape. Oh, it's gorgeous. So this is what you should have so far. It's kind of like a tube with some zipper tapes hanging off the ends. But right now, let's focus on that little piece that we laminated. It was 6 inches by 4 inches. What I'm going to do is just fold those two sides in to the middle, and then I'm going to fold it yet once again. And then I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew right down the side, kind of like bias binding, but it's not. It's shelf paper lining. After you've sewn your handle, it should look something just like this. Looking good. And now what I'm going to do is just take another little piece that I had laminated. It's about 1 inch in width and about 2 inches or so or more in length. And I pinked it all around, and that's going to hold our D-ring that we're going to put in the other end. Unzip your bag and turn it inside out. We are going to find some center points. With the zipper tape on top, you're going to look at the bottom and go ahead and mark both edges just where you see me marking. Now here I'm using a dry erase marker because I will be able to wipe that off easily. Open the zipper about 3/4 of a way, leaving it about 1/4 of the way shut. Position it in the same manner that I have it here. What I'm doing is taking that dry erase mark that I made, and I'm lining it up with the middle of the zipper. That will tell me that I have a perfectly even bag. I find that just popping a pin right into the zipper on both sides, connecting them, just helps keep the zipper tape together for me. Once you're happy with your center marks aligned with your zipper tape, you're going to go ahead and just pop a few clips in. just to help it so it doesn't shift around on you. Now you just have to figure out which side you would like your D-ring to go in and which side you would like your handle on. I decided to put my handle on the side where the zipper, when it's closed, where you would pull it to open it. So here I'm going to go ahead and put my D-ring on the opposite side. And so what you see me do here is go ahead and just position it on the inside. Now the ring has to be on the inside right now because we want it to be on the outside in the end. And so this is the way that you do it. Now here I did take some of that double-sided tape to help me because sometimes it will shift because it is slippery, it is vinyl. Go ahead and put a couple clips there just to help it along for shift purposes. And then we're going to sew 1/4 inch down both sides. Now remember, before this step, your zipper has to be open 3/4 of the way and the toggle must be within the zipper area, not on the outside of the bag, because we're going to have to turn it right side out through some place, and the zipper is where we're going to do it. You should have something that looks just like this, with the zipper tapes hanging off out of the sides. Now on to the other side. Now I do sew over these zipper tapes. Because they are made of polyester and plastic, my sewing needle does go over it perfectly fine. Now if it was a metal zipper, there's no way I would ever do that. But if I did have a metal zipper, and you could use a metal zipper on this project, you just have to hand crank your way through, being sure not to break a needle. Using your pinking shears or just a regular pair of scissors, you're going to go ahead and cut that excess zipper tape off. I want you to take notice when we pinch these 4 corners, the seam allowance on each end of that zipper tape right there, it needs to be pointing down toward the bottom of the bag. Now as I pinch these corners, I just want you to take note and just watch carefully. It's harder to explain and easier just to watch. So as I'm pinching it, I'm looking at it kind of at the end of the bag, and it kind of gives me like a box sort of look. And I'm just making sure that everything is pointing in the right direction and everything seems symmetrical. And with that seam allowance pointed down toward the box bottom, I'm drawing a line that is 3 inches, maybe just a smidgen more across. And I'm doing that with my dry erase marker. So I'm going about 3 inches in width, so to speak. And here I'm just measuring up that from that zipper tape, I have the same amount of distance on both sides so that I don't have an uneven bag. I hope that makes sense. Now here we're going to go ahead and mark the other side. Now it's a little bit harder to mark this side because that toggle is on the inside there. But you're still going to go ahead about 3 inches or so across with the ruler. And these little rulers are perfect for this. I will link them in the description box below for you if you're interested. So you see there just with the 3 inches across, and then I'm going to take my dry erase marker. Now the mark that you're making is the mark that you're actually going to sew on, just for reference. So here I'm just flipping all 4 sides, and you see I'm marking the side that has the zipper tape on it, just because it's easier to measure in from that zipper tape to make sure that all 4 sides are symmetrical and the same. I hope that makes sense. Once my measurements are all the same on all 4 sides, I'm going to take just a regular pair of scissors, and the side that we're going to put the handle on, so the side that does not have the D-ring on it, we are going to cut 1/4 inches away from that blue line toward the pointed area. And you're just going to take and just cut that straight down on both sides, just on the ends of that one side though. You should have now 2 big holes on the end of your bag, but don't worry, we're going to take care of that right now. But first, just so things don't shift on us, go ahead and put a couple clips in each of the other 2 ends that are on the opposite end of the bag. So if you're looking at my handle, the side that has the seam on it right there, I want that pointing toward the bottom of my bag. I'm going to slide it in through the one side of the hole there, but I'm going to be sure that the center of my handle is right on the center of that seam, so to speak, so that everything is matched up center-like. And once I get it where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and clip it on the one side. And now you see this side, I'm pushing it in just a little bit so that there's some give and some gap within the handle itself. If you didn't, your strap would be too close to the bag and you wouldn't be able to grab it. Now we're going to sew down both sides of where we just shoved that handle in there. And what we're going to do is make sure that we reinforce it several times. This is essentially the handle that we will be picking our bag up from, and it will be the one that's used the most. So you will want to make sure that you reinforce it really good. While you're at the sewing machine, go ahead and do the other side of the bag. Remember those two other blue lines on the other two corners? You're going to just follow those lines. All that prep work that we did earlier, it all makes sense now, hopefully. This is just about the time in the project where I get really excited to see how everything turned out. With your pinking shears, go ahead and cut about 1/4 inch right next to all of those 4 blue lines. Next, we're going to turn everything right side out. Now you don't want to use anything pointy to get the corners to be nice and crisp. Go ahead and just use your fingers. Trust me on this one. You will poke a hole in this bag if you try to use something pointy. Oh my word, I love the pattern on this shelf liner paper. Now not only is this very pretty to look at, but it's very durable as well. We'll be able to clean the inside and the outside with no trouble. This makeup bag stands about 3.5 inches high. With the D-ring and the handle, it's about 7 inches long. The width is about 4.25 inches. Until next time on the Sewing Channel, take care.